All right. Welcome in, everybody. Shout out to all of you that joined us for yesterday's episode of Sunday Morning Quarterbacks. We said it was a can't miss episode, and some of the analysts, including Sosa, went a little crazy on the show yesterday. Don't want to say we called Jonathan Taylor's wild day, but someone might have called his wild day.
He said what he said. His name's Samuel Murphy, and he's on paid for play. Dumb brain. I agree.
Yes, sir. But today we're back to Daily Bread, and we got a nice little guest for us popping in. Who's going to join us for the last half of the second segment, heading into the third segment? But with Daily Bread, you always know it's Sosa and Rex, powered by PickCity.com and the Wise Guys Diamond Club. Check out Pick City on Twitter and on their website for their deals. And then the Wise Guys Diamond Club, you know where to find them if you need your extra action. But today, we got the NBA, how we're going to kick it off with, going into college hoops, into Monday Night Football. It is one of the best weeks of the year with all these college basketball tournaments. But before we get to all of that, we got to see how Sosa's doing. And I don't know, he's been live on Spaces for like 2 hours this morning. So I know he has a bunch of NFL thoughts.
Hey man, listen, I'm big on narratives. And I've been preaching that Josh Allen sucks since the day he probably came into the league. Because I know what quarterback play is supposed to look like, and he stinks. He fucking stinks. Terrible at processing, extremely inaccurate down the field. They have no running game. Like I said, I just like being right. That's all. Shout out to the Eagles, though. Yeah, Eagles handle business. Rex was a little worried to hop on the train with us, but I think we talked him into it. The Eagles
Mm-hmm.
handle business. The Eagles have a starting quarterback. Y'all need to shut the fuck up and stop making shit up on the internet. Jalen Hurts is a starting quarterback in the NFL. You're not telling me that he's not one of 32. You damn sure ain't going to tell me he's not one of 15. Period. Don't give a fuck what
And
anyone
what
says. You know
Simeon
the
just
game, you
looked
know the
like
game.
is exactly what his whole career is going to be for the rest of the time. Probably not going to be in it. That was the biggest factor of why I was staying off it. And boy, oh boy, did he look bad. Yeah, that Panther spread ended up not working out either for you. Just seemed easy. It's all right. But if you want to be like who you, Mario, and Brandon and be in the YouTube comments and be featured, that's the best way to do it. Twitter still doesn't allow us to show comments. Maybe Twitter and StreamYard will fix it eventually, but listen to Bullpen, like the video, and then so you got any other thoughts? Wow, we almost got all of our usuals in here at
I'm
this
trying to
point.
think what else really hit me yesterday that really
Not a LeBron
Sam,
elbow.
Sam Darnold really sucks. Cam Newton played a great game. They just came up short. What else? 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 The Chiefs never left. People on the internet were just stupid enough to believe that Patrick Mahomes wasn't that guy anymore. What else can I say?
Man, the
Uh,
comments just throwing out all these random ones too. This is great. Exactly the way we had to get
yep.
started.
Cowboys overrated. Herbert's still elite. I don't know if he. I don't know if that's true either, but they won. Um, Great plays made on both defenses. I mean, if they weren't playing a 38-year-old relic, um, maybe Pittsburgh would be the cool. And a guy in the space is talking about fighting UNLV on the spread. Hit 4 out of 5 so
This, yeah, I
far.
guess this is football because their basketball team covered for the first time.
Yeah. Well, because their football team sucks. That's actually Jose. Jose Vellante, Straight Bet Sports. He lives in Vegas. He follows all Vegas sports. He's media out there. If you guys already following him, make sure you guys check him out. Anything Vegas, he knows. The Lions did cover yesterday, 6-9. Yeah, yesterday was rather disrespectful. A couple of lines were just out of pocket. Who the fuck made the Bills 6-7 point favorites after watching Josh
I don't
Allen
know.
lose
You
to the
hit that money
Texans?
line, but we got our people in here now. Let's stop teasing them and get into today's action. The start of Thanksgiving week. You already know if you're working this week, it's real light. So throw in those headphones, cue this up for later. We're probably only going to have one college game, maybe two that get in before
Really?
5 p.m. But
We're
let's
getting to
start
the
off
NBA.
with the NBA.
Two things I got to say. Cade Cunningham is going to win Rookie of the Year. Triple-double last night. Every single go look at the shows. I've been telling y'all, once he gets his legs under him, whether they win or lose, he's going to perform. Cade Cunningham, real deal. Isaiah Stewart got punched in his shit last night by LeBron. He got punched. He got hit with one of these. Ugh. Y'all have heard me say this before. LeBron is not my favorite player. He should be suspended. I hope the league does suspend him. Isaiah Stewart took it to another level, but I don't know if any of y'all have ever been hit. Probably not, because usually the people who were commenting on this last night never ever been in a fucking fight in their life. Listen, when you see blood, you wouldn't understand if you've never been in that situation. Isaiah Stewart saw his shit fucked up and leaking. And I don't know where y'all are from, but this is a 20-year-old kid getting socked in his shit. I'd have reacted the same fucking way. I would have wanted smoke. Yeah, but again, it's LeBron will be protected. I don't think he'll get. I hope he gets suspended. I think a lot of LeBron fans think he should. That was just some. I never seen somebody hit somebody like that and was like, "Oh, my bad, dog." Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah, man. I tried to casually just hit you upside the head real quick, but nah. I mean, Gilbert Arenas' comment was probably one of the wildest shits that came out of it last night because he referenced his story in the locker room and he referenced like 6 other pieces. Take a look at Gilbert Agent Zero's post if you didn't see it. But man, Detroit could probably use him as a linebacker too, the Lions, because he was just blowing through people.
Defensive line, offensive line. He put on a fucking tape. I mean, we all know LeBron and Rich Paul probably try to get him blackballed as a 20-year-old, because they're the kings and queen of sucker shit, Lil Richard. But I like, for as far as I'm concerned, y'all ain't gonna hear me ever act a certain way. Listen, LeBron did that was weak and corny. I don't really give a fuck.
All right, let's get into the plays. We're 7 minutes in and
not
have
about
yet
to
to give out a winner.
TV. You're fucking right, Cam. Fuck all that bullshit. I smacked the shit out of that man. All right, moving on. Let's get to tonight. We got a full slate. I'm only giving out 4 NBA plays, but they're going to be good ones. First game we going to, Washington, home game against the Hornets. The Hornets just beat them the other night. They're back at the crib. I don't think it's a revenge spot per se. I don't think that I'm not picking a winner, but I am going to say that Spencer Dinwiddie tonight will have at least 15 points. I'll play it all the way up to 20. So what we're going to do is, let me look at something, because I've been knocking these out the park, these plus money props. Shout out to Gilles Gallant. He probably never even watched this show, but he inspired me the other day. He said, if you're going to do props, just search and search and search and search until you can find those, the ones that really have value. 14.5 is at plus 100. Right? For Spencer to score 20, let me see if the line is plus 360. Okay, if you can get an alternate point by point to ladder that, do it. I think Spencer Dinwiddie has a good night. Lady, you talking about Connecticut? I mean, ain't nothing wrong with being from the suburbs. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right, what's the next one? We got the ladder to start it off. What's number 2?
Oh, man. Second play on the board. We're going back to Ant Edwards. And Ant Edwards scored a bunch of points the other night. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to his rebounds and assists against the New Orleans Pelicans. Ant Edwards continues to prove he's one of them ones. This Minnesota team is going to fight, scratch, claw. And when I say that, I don't really mean that like for real, because they're going to get their asses whooped some nights. They're going to get absolutely smoked because they're just inexperienced. The team does bonehead shit. But they will be right there fighting for a playoff spot, I think, at the end of the year. I think that in order for a team to be good, they have to learn how to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of those spots. I really do believe that Ant Edwards is that guy. I've been saying it, and I will always stand by that. And, John, you ain't never seen me hoop, dog. How the fuck you know that? I can hoop. She about 5'8". Stop playing with me, dog. Oh, stop it, boy. So we're going to go with Ant Edwards over 8.5 rebounds assists. A little juiced at minus 136. I haven't gotten the alternates on any of my books to really to really add on, but I would play that to like 11, maybe 12. Ant Edwards is that guy, man. and he's going to continue to make us money. Obviously, Cade not playing, but we already know when he's not playing tonight, so we already know that his numbers is gonna his betting numbers are gonna get juiced. So at 9.5 plus money, 8.5 is a minus 130. I would wait if you can't if you can't line shop one, but if you can't get it at plus money, don't take it. You're not touch it. Don't touch Edwards rebound and assist unless you get the number at plus money. Don't do it. First plus money number alternate you can get, take that. Any thoughts? Because I know Rex no longer gives a fuck about the NBA. College basketball has started, and he's just cheering for the Sixers. So don't even DM him or tweet him about anything NBA because he's completely said fuck the NBA.
Usually the best way to go, but no, I'm just kidding. We'll have something back tomorrow for the NBA with me. We'll show the love back to it. But
next game,
is where just let the master do his work.
Absolutely. Next game we're going to is Cleveland versus the Nets. Not picking a winner. However, I do like this matchup for Darius Garland offensively. I think Darius Garland's been playing well. Knowing that Colin Sexton is not coming back gives him the ultimate green light, and it also allows him to play for a contract. Now, Darius Garland wants to get paid. You telling him that Sexton's going to be gone the whole year? It's his show. He don't got to worry about not having the ball in his hands. You don't have to worry about a guard taking 20 shots a game. We're about to see the ascension or precipitous decline of Darius Garland. That's what you're about to get. I think it's the Darius Garland show in Cleveland now. Sexton's probably not going to be there next year. It's his show. Give me Darius Garland to hit 2.5 threes. Right now it's at plus 108. Get it while it's plus money. They have his points at 20.5. I do know that he will shoot threes. Off the dribble, catch and shoot, he'll do them both. I do believe that by the All-Star break, we're going to be talking about him as a player who we've seen develop and evolve. Not because he wasn't good, but because when you have a volume shooting point guard next to you, it makes it exceedingly difficult for you to play your game as a guard. Colin Sexton being out the lineup really does take Darius Garland's value on the gambling market, the fantasy market, and just the professional basketball market to another dimension because he now has the confidence to know that he's the guy. So that's my third play. Exactly.
And how are we wrapping it up before we get into the good stuff?
Final play. Now, this is a play based on solely on emotion. The Sacramento Kings fired their coach. He wasn't much of a coach. He fucking sucks. He's terrible. Got a job off of 12 games. How many games did he play? Did he coach the Warriors? Like 30?
He got a Coach of the Month award out of it. So
okay. Yeah.
Remember that? He can hang that up in his trophy room when he's done.
Daddy's a Hall of Famer, right? Oh, okay. All right. And he was just Kobe's boy, right? Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, should have never been a head coach in the NBA. Should have never had a job. So, and I think the players who were playing for him knew he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Alvin Gentry's the head coach there. You're about to see a team. They probably won't play much defense, but they're going to get up and down the court and they're going to score points because that's all Gentry knows how to coach. Give me De'Aaron Fox tonight over 19.5 points. I don't even think it'll be a question. Probably could play him up to 25. Playing against Maxey.
Wow.
Playing against Maxey, playing against Seth Curry. Notice I ain't picking against my team. But you done heard every single player in that organization not have Luke Walton's back because they didn't respect him or trust him in any way. Correct?
It's the freedom, the let loose game. It's just like we're back. We can enjoy basketball again. Let's go show out and see what we do for a new guy here to show the organization how wrong they were for having Walton in there.
This is where the players say fuck you to Luke Walton. It hurt my heart watching Alvin Gentry hold a fucking clipboard for Luke Walton. It did. You know what I'm saying? But Luke's gone. Time for this team to ratchet it up and learn how to play as a team. Because they got some talent. The coach was uninspiring. I think Gentry rallies the troops, and I think that Sacramento just shows like that they never really fuck with Luke. So those are all the NBA props I got for tonight. Sides and totals. Join the Diamond Club. We got with Thanksgiving week sale. Fuck with us. It's on you. Let us know.
All right. Let's get into college hoops. I got 3 plays. So how many do you got for us today? None?
One. Just one. Just
All
one.
right, so I'll rattle off 2. You give off your 1. We'll bring in our guest, and then we'll finish it up with the last play of the day.
All right.
Easiest way to go about it. The first one, this is just the line is completely wrong here. We're not calling the same shot that we called last week, but this is another potential easy outright winner. So if you're not scared, put some sprinkle on the money line here. But Santa Clara plus 3.5 against TCU in a neutral site game here. This line should be a pick 'em, if anything else. TCU, I'm just not going to be sold in this team. They've beat up on a bunch of nobodies so far, while Santa Clara has taken out Nevada, has taken out Stanford, and has put up, what was it? Their least amount of points they put up so far in a game is 84 in their 4 matches, is 84. So this team's offense is working it right now. Vranich, if you have yet to see him, this might be a good game to do it. Santa Clara plus 3.5, minus 110. Monday Night Football will be at the end, but that's the easiest way to start off your action today. Santa Clara is just a much better team. 10:30 start, a little late night, but you know what it is here. TCU, Chuck O'Bannon might be their top player. I'm not really sure who on this team that I can trust that can hang with Santa Clara. They run a bit short of roster, so no foul trouble, and this one gets there. And Santa Clara is 5-0 with 3 nice wins on their resume. Man, there is a gross 2:30 game that we need to have the action on it.
The early game.
We'll ask the guest about the second. We'll ask the guest about the second 2:30 game, but you got Wisconsin versus Texas A&M. You literally just missed them. Scroll back first, 10 to 15 minute mark. These teams are both bottom 30 in pace. Therefore, you have a nice little 2:30 Monday game set at 121 for the over. You got Wisconsin, who's coming off a pretty bad loss to Providence, where that game sold under it. You got Texas A&M just basically beating up who they have other than Abilene Christian, who made the tournament last year. So other than that, they've played a bunch of nobodies here. So what have you done when the team that just came off a game is laying 3.5? And Texas A&M might be the more athletic team here, but Brad Davidson, he's your classic Perry Ellis. He's been on fucking Wisconsin for 7 seasons at this point. Came back once again. I don't think the fans were too happy about it. This is the opening game of the Maui tournament in Las Vegas because that makes sense. We're going to lay the 3.5 with the Badgers here. It's gross. Close your nose with this one. Oh, never mind. It's a flat 3 right now in the book, minus 110. Not 3.5, minus 3. Badgers. They'll roll the Aggies today.
Okay. All right. That's how you feel? That's how you feel.
Those are the 2 to start. What do you got for us?
I'm trying to get a first half. Do you have a first half total on a – do you have a first half total points on Colorado?
Let me see.
A first half solo?
Mm-hmm.
I can't find it. I can't find a team total for them, first half team total.
Trying to back them. 34.5 minus 115.
Colorado, first half over 34.5. That's the play. I can't – what book are you on?
My local. Going against Brown.
Yep. Over 34.5. Colorado. That's easy money.
You're staying on the fade the Brown train because it's been profitable so far. Not a bad angle there.
Yeah,
Nailed it the last time the Brown played, so just keep what's cashing. Don't go away with it.
They play an interesting schedule. Colorado, not Colorado State. Colorado State is running threes, run with threes, run and shoot threes, run and shoot. They really, really run up and down the court to shoot 3-point shots. It's crazy. But that's my only play. I'm gonna have more obviously Diamond Club stuff, but Colorado's first half team total over 34.5 points against Brown. Minus 115. There it is.
All right, now let's bring in our guest, who you already know who it is. With the Bucks playing tonight, we're bringing in the Spin Doc,
Go.
and you've been seeing it on the Twitter sphere. The Mac and Colonial guy. If you need action in those games, he just loves watching some nice 66-64 ball and just every second of it. So
I love it.
Let's hear about it.
All right. What's up, everybody? Yes, I will get to the Bucks in a minute. I do just have one college basketball play for today, and that is Hofstra plus 9.5 against Richmond. This Hofstra team, guys, so brand new coach this year, but not new to the program. For anybody that remembers old school NBA, remember Speedy Claxton. Speedy is he's a Hofstra mainstay. He's the all-time leading scorer. He was an assistant on the staff. They bumped him up to the big job this year. He has these guys playing ridiculously hard. Their schedule so far, so they're 1-3 so far, but their schedule so far has been absolutely brutal. They went on the road at Houston. They went to Iona, who's undefeated, and they played Maryland at home and lost all of those games by less than 10 points, including 2 of those without their best player, Jalen Ray. Jalen Ray could probably start for most D1 programs. If you ever get a chance to watch him, he's silky smooth. He's a great ball handler, has a ridiculous first step, but they played and damn near beat Houston in Houston without him, took him into overtime. So Richmond, on the other hand, they're 2-2, but both of their wins have come against Georgia State and North Carolina Central, who are both sub 200 teams. So quadrant 3.
Real quick, we cashed on that Richmond game, fading them.
Yep. Yeah. And I would fade them again tonight. I don't know if I feel strong enough to take the money line on it, but this Hofstra team they have a lot of pieces to like. They have Jalen Ray, they have Zach Cooks. They are very well coached, and they shoot the 3 exceptionally well. So I would be not surprised at all if this is a 1-possession game. I think if they get a few breaks, Hofstra might be able to win. But as you follow college basketball this year, pay attention to this Hofstra team. Because this is a team that I could easily see making some noise in the Colonial tournament and even maybe winning a game or 2 in the NCAA tournament. There is a lot of top tier D1 talent that's on this team that they either developed over the years or got through the transfer portal last year.
Shout out to Speedy Claxton, Craig. He was that guy, and he also had a really good, decent pro career. So shout out to Speedy. Craig is his real name, for anyone who doesn't know that.
I was surprised not to hear any love for your Drexel Dragons this morning at +2. They start in a half hour.
Yeah, they do. If you're gonna bet that game, take Drexel. It's one of those where I could see this one going either way. That might be a one that you look to take live. And actually, what I wouldn't mind doing is to see if Tulane can get a little lead early and then hammer Drexel. That's actually something that I found has been very profitable early on in college basketball. Is that if you have a side that you like but you don't feel 100% strong about it, there's a lot of these favorites. Like Iona's one of them, where they'll start slow and then they'll kind of be like, all right, I've had enough of you. Now, okay, we've played with you for long enough. Now it's time to put you away. And so if they get in a close game halfway through the first half, you can actually hammer the opposite side on the money line or on the spread, and you can probably shave 2 or 3 points off of a spread. So there's a few teams that I like doing with that. Those are ones that are exclusive for the Diamond Club about who those are. But it's an angle that I've definitely been giving out on a pretty regular basis in the Diamond Club, and will continue to do so at least until conference play starts. Conference, it's a little tougher because the teams know each other better. I think that there's a significant angle in college basketball when you have two teams with really thinking about it, guys, 18 to 20-year-old kids who have never played against each other and don't know each other, making adjustments, having to make adjustments on the fly versus if you play in conference and it's guys that and programs and gyms and familiarity, things that you've seen before. So I think that there's a lot to be said about that. But until the conference season starts, we are going to look to hammer live lines for at least 3 or 4 teams.
Let's get it.
And the Hofstra game is at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Hofstra at Richmond.
Okay.
That's my one college basketball player that I'll give out here.
Rex, you have anything else for college?
Well, that's a good way to get there because I know everyone's dying to channel surf to try to find Hofstra tonight when they're all going to be yelling what games it on. It's actually on ESPN Plus. So if you have that, easiest way to watch that one there. The last play of the day, we're going to be taking – this one starts at 7. So we got a game that just tipped off with Wisconsin. We got the 10:30 with Santa Clara. We're laying the -2.5 with the Jackrabbits of San Diego State. Going back to the well with this one, the team that returns all the veteran presence. We backed them in the club last weekend here, just with going in against Nevada with a total at 160.5. Going against Grant Sherfield isn't great, and especially given that they're 1-3 to start the season. I just don't think today's the day that they find it back. Coming up short against the Dons, I think if they were able to pull off that game, it would have maybe swayed me more. But the Jackrabbits -2.5, just too much of a senior team with Sherfield as the only point, so they know how to stop a one-man scoring team.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
All right. Let's get into the NFL as we got 25 minutes through hoops. Let's talk about some football here.
All right.
I have a feeling. You know what? I'm gonna let Spin Doctor go first.
All right. So here's where we're at. We are in a position under Brady that we are not used to, which is 2 consecutive losses. Last week was incredibly frustrating, especially coming out of the bye. We also lost Vita Vea. He for those that remember, once he came back for the NFC Championship game, and that was a massive reason why we won that game. So and also why we dominated so much in the Super Bowl. So it's a frustrating spot to be in. Now there are bright spots for the Bucs. Number one is that Gronkowski is expected to be back tonight. I've been saying this in the Diamond Club and to people that have asked. He's been questionable all week, and the team is calling him a game time decision. However, Gronk being Gronk, he's got a big mouth. So when they ask him about it, he's basically just like, I'm good to go, bro. And then Arians tries to throw water on it like, well, he might be a game time decision. Kind of like, shut the fuck up, Gronk. Like, shh, like that's gamesmanship. So anyways, now, a couple things that for tonight's game, and I saw the comment in there from John. Take it easy on my Giants. Look, I believe in Danny Dimes as a quarterback. I really do. I think for his first few seasons, he hasn't gotten the help that he's needed, and this year his whole damn team has been hurt, from the offensive line to all the weapons to everybody. I mean, it was the early season joke for fantasy stuff when we're talking about like, okay, now we have to do the injury report. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to do the regular injury report and then the Giants injury report because like their whole team was hurt. So I believe in Daniel Jones. As far as this game tonight, so Bucs are favored by 11. It's a big spread. It's on the borderline of what I call a college spread. And typically I don't take college spreads in the NFL, but there's a couple things that I want to go over here. So Tom Brady, since 2006, coming off of back-to-back losses, is 8-0, and his average margin of victory is 20.3 points, including 5 of those 8 by 20 or more, including 2 by 30 or more. So every single game has been a double-digit win off of back-to-back losses. I also think that having Gronk back will be an extreme help. I obviously believe that the Bucs will win the game. As far as the spread goes, I can actually see the Giants backdoor covering this game. I really can. So it's something where for those of you that follow in the Diamond Club, I have my 1 through 4 diamond plays. This would be a 1 diamond, just a lean on Bucs to win, Giants to cover. If you're asking me to pick the over or under, I probably would go with the under, but only slightly. It's neither one I have a very strong feeling about. What I do like, though, is player props. So for player props, I think that Chris Godwin's player props are of great value. Godwin plays 67% of his routes in the slot. He is going to go up against Darnay Holmes, who has a sub 50 PFF grade. For those that follow me, 50 is considered average. And Godwin has a PFF grade of almost 80. So Godwin was a little banged up with his foot last week. He wasn't even on the final injury report. He's fine. So he's the slot receiver, even with Antonio Brown out. I think that he will still see an ample number of targets in the slot, and that would bode very well for him. So I like any of Godwin's receiving props. I also like a lot of Leonard Fournette props tonight. So the Giants are 30th in rushing DVO or defensive rushing DVOA per Football Outsiders, and the Bucs, per the same site, is the number one offensive line in run blocking. So Fournette's the last time I checked, his yardage prop was 63.5 at minus 115. I believe that he could go for 75 or 80 yards tonight. I would also very easily take a Leonard Fournette anytime touchdown. So, and then any other props for me? I also don't mind Saquon Barkley's receiving props. The Bucs are have the second or third most allowed running back carries. Part of that is because their run D is so elite and they force teams to throw quick screens and quick passes, and because they pressure so much. So those would be the ones that I would want to give out. Would be Saquon Barkley over receptions. I thought it was 2.5, but it could be 3.5 at some places. And then Fournette over 63.5 rushing yards, and Fournette anytime touchdown. And then Godwin, any Godwin receiving prop that you want. I think that Godwin is definitely going to eat tonight. So,
all right. Okay.
A lot of stuff packed into
That
2
was
minutes.
a lot.
Yeah, sorry.
That was a lot.
I'm a numbers guy. I got to get my numbers in.
I'm
now
rocking
he's
with
about
Danny.
to spin it on you.
I'm rocking with Danny Dimes tonight.
To cover or to win?
I think I might sprinkle a little something on him to win the
All right.
game. Vita Vea being out, if y'all didn't know who he was, y'all finna find out tonight. Saquon back. Saquon over 40 yards rushing. Cash it. Let me read off the list for you. All right. Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown plus 180. Book that. Kenny Golladay anytime touchdown plus 260. Book it. Tell y'all right now. Tom Brady to throw an interception plus 105. Book that too. Giants first half plus 7. Book that. Giants plus 11 for the game. You can book that too.
Yeah.
Everything. Listen, I know all the stats that go. Listen, this Brady team, listen, he turned the Brock over against Washington last week. And no one is going to lie to me and tell me that Washington defense was playing good prior to last week. They looked fucking horrendous, and Brady got owned by them. And then what was the most startling part of the whole thing is that Washington iced the game. They just went down the field, and there was nothing that this Tampa Bay defense could do to stop it. You tell me Vita Vea is not playing, Saquon. I'm fucking with everything that he has to bring out.
Yep.
Serious. That's the number one thing. Vita Vea is that guy. He's the straw that stirs the drink for the defense. He's the guy that makes it easier for Derek White to fly around wherever he wants. He's the one that makes it easy for everyone. Tonight, you're about to see that get exposed to a level. Obviously, I didn't pick Tampa Bay to win the game because there's still, level of incompetency in the head coaching ranks for the New York Giants. Joe Judge is a fucking idiot. But But what I will say is this: when you bring Gronk back, if you've been watching New York, tight ends don't get off against them because they know how to game plan for star tight ends. They just put James Bradbury on him and he takes him out of the game. He's done it against every one of the good tight ends that they faced so far this year. Yep. Every single one. James Bradbury's also had a great season. You talk about a guy that understands how to bait corners or bait quarterbacks and doesn't really get a lot of love for it. Like, he's having a great season. It's just, again, people do a lot of this instead of actually watching what they see. Like I said, I like the Giants coming off a bye. I also think that when the Giants look at this division, they don't feel like they're completely out of the playoff hunt. They still think they got a chance. They really believe that. They see the Cowboys lose a couple games. They see the Cowboys got guys hurt. They got the Cowboys playing on a short week against a team coming off a loss that's still in that conversation, right? They're still in that conversation like, we can make the playoffs. Like, the Raiders lost yesterday, and they can still make the playoffs. So it's easy for us to count them out because of how bad we saw them play, but that's just one Sunday. Who's to know that on Thursday they come out motivated and hungry and Derek Carr looks like a different guy? I still think that the Giants believe they have a shot to do something in this division, and not if not the division, to at least make some noise towards the end of the year. I think also something that people forget is that they spent a bunch of money on guys. With Golladay, he's been hurt. He's finally 100%. Kadarius Toney, very good looking rookie, wasn't healthy. I think that's how I think that. And then what John just said, obviously, he'll probably get Evans. But like I said, in the event that Gronk is to get busy, Bradbury would go over to him, period. And then also with, obviously, AB's the best receiver on the team. Like, you're a lifelong Bucs fan. I like Mike Evans and I like Chris Godwin, but AB's one of one.
Mm-hmm.
Not having him changes a lot because, I mean, AB pretty much single-handedly won the Eagles game for the Bucs. Like, if he doesn't play, they lose that game because in the second half the offense stalled and he made three catches on third down that sealed the game for them.
Yeah. The one thing that AB brings to us that I don't necessarily know if I see as much in Godwin or Evans, as much as I love the two of them, is just the ability in a situation like that. It's just like I liken it to like Larry Bird when he was in the play. So Larry Bird when he was in the playoffs and they were down by one late and they were drawing up his play in the huddle and Bird just stopped his coach and he said, Coach, I'm gonna stop you. He said, here's the play. Give me the ball and get the fuck out of my way, and I'm going to win the game. And that's exactly what happened. That's what AB has, is like, hey, I'm going to be open, throw it. Whereas Godwin and Evans are solid all-pro receivers, but there's just that little extra gear when shit's on the line that you only kind of sort of see from them, where that's where a guy like AB thrives.
He got that kale in him. AB is from Liberty City. Listen, they don't just want to beat you up. They want to stomp you the fuck out. Some guys are different. They'll take they'll have a little bit of mercy. He's not one of those give somebody. He wants to kill you. Those other guys, Chris Godwin's from Delaware. I got nothing else to say.
Yeah, a couple of things I saw from the chat about Danny Dimes rushing prop. It's at 22.5 right now, juice to the under. That to me sounds like about the right number. I don't really have a strong opinion on that one either way. And there were a few more about Evans getting the record tonight. Yeah, because he caught one last week. He sets the all-time record for Bucs touchdowns. Yes, I would take that.
I got to answer prolific finish. Listen, okay. Brady likes Mike Evans more than any fucking receiver he ever had in New England, not named Randy Moss. You think he likes – bro, you're talking about a guy who's never not had 1,000 yards, bro.
And he's 6'5", so he can just in the end zone, he can just throw it up.
1,000 yards every year for
doesn't have to do anything, just
stop it, bro. He's 6'5". He loves having Mike Evans. It's just that, listen, these 6'5" guys, they don't usually last very long in the NBA or in the NFL. I'm sorry, because what they need is they need to have that top end speed. Mike Evans has never had the 4.4 speed, and he's been great. So that should let you know just how good he is. Because unless you have that super dynamic ability to just get open, you have to be physically imposing like Mike Evans, or you're not going to keep a job. This guy is wildly consistent and gets open to an extent. Obviously, with his size, you can do a lot with him. You can run him in, you can run him out. He's a good enough route runner to where it's like he's a physically imposing guy where he can also box out guys. Tom Brady loves Mike Evans and all that.
Mike Evans' 40 time is 4.53. That usually in the NFL, from a speed perspective, that's a guy who's going to be like the second or third wide receiver on his team, and this dude gets 1,000 yards every single season. That should tell you how freakishly athletic he is. So the only thing I want to do is I do have a few for those of you that play single slate DFS. I think that there's a little bit of value in players here tonight. And I'm only speaking for GPPs, guaranteed prize pool, or tournaments. If anybody wants to do like a head-to-head or like a 50-50, you can send me a message on Twitter and I can tell you about some of my plays. But these are more towards big tournaments. I think that just because he's at home and some of the stats I gave out earlier, I think it's going to be almost impossible to fade Brady in your DFS lineup. As far as making him the captain, which for those that don't know, captain spots get an accelerator for points. On most plays in most tournaments, it's 1.5 times the points. So I think it's going to be really, really hard to fade Brady completely. What I actually would be interested in doing is I would actually captain Daniel Jones because of the rushing touchdown upside. And then I would put Jones in the captain, Saquon on your team for sure. And then you can run that back with Brady. And then that probably doesn't leave you a ton of money for your other positions. But there are guys that I think have value in the lower salary range. With Antonio Brown out, I think Tyler Johnson is one of them. I also would not be surprised if even though Gronk's playing, I wouldn't be surprised if Cameron Brate gets a few end zone targets, or if you have the salary to do it, you can even run it back with Fournette. I think that because I told you, I think it's almost a given that Fournette scores tonight. And the last one I want to talk about is we just talked about him, Mike Evans. I like Evans from a scoring perspective for DFS, but his salary right now, in comparison to how many points you think he's going to score, he's one of the only guys tonight that are over 10K on DraftKings. So Brady's 11-2, Fournette's 10, and Evans is 10-2. It's going to be hard to get all three of those in a lineup. Daniel Jones is 9,600 and Saquon Barkley is 7,800. I love the savings you get with those two guys. So I would go that route. And if you're going to do a lineup something similar to that, I would not captain Brady if you're playing a large tournament. Reason being is because everybody else is going to. And you get points in DFS when you're contrarian, when you have guys in spots that other people don't. So
Saquon coming out party tonight.
I don't think you can make a tournament lineup without Saquon in it. For $7,800 and for his projected output, way too good a value there. And then if you need a low price dart to kind of throw in there, especially if you have Danny Dimes on your team, I would also look to Darius Slayton. He's $3,200, which is almost min priced on DraftKings. And with Sterling Shepard out, you can definitely see him getting targets and catches, which those it's a full PPR on DraftKings. So, and then only other thing that I would do is if we're talking about some props. So since I saw bullpen bets on there, I gotta give a helicopter. Got to give a helicopter play. So my helicopter play tonight, it would be a first touchdown one, and it would be there's actually two that I would sprinkle on. The first one would be Tyler Johnson at plus 1,200 for the first touchdown score, and then the second one would be Cameron Brate at plus 2,200. So first touchdown score, those would be my two helicopters.
All right. Anything else we got in this slate for tonight?
No. I just want to see the Bucs come out, and honestly, I don't even really care if they cover the spread. I just want to see them clean up a lot of the stuff that's plagued them over the last few games. Penalties would be one, turnovers would be another. So they're at home, they're on national television. this would be kind of a good way to let people know that, it's like, hey, we're the champs, we're still here. However, if they come out and stumble, then you're going to hear all the shit about, is this team too old? Is Brady washed up? Is it, all the shit that you hear the mainstream sports media and the network the 4-letter network that I don't watch if I don't have to talk about all the time. So, but yeah, I'm with Sosa on this one. I think Bucks win the game. I think the Giants cover the first half and they cover full game. And I would not be surprised if it's an ugly, low-scoring game.
You think
just heard it.
Lower.
Okay.
Not like 16-10, but like.
Hey man, they got a lot of numbers. They got the first half over at 26. I think it goes under like motherfucker. But
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 13-6 at halftime, 13-7, somewhere in that area, 14-10, somewhere in that range. Wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Tom Brady interception plus 105. Call me when it happens.
And that's basically going to wrap us up for today's episode of Daily Bread. We had the Spin Doctor join us because when the Bucks play on Monday Night Football, he's got to be coming in here. We got to get a Giants fan on our pod. We have yet to get one on Sunday morning quarterback. So if you know any Giants fans out there that might want to join us, let us know. But until then, make sure you give us that like, give us that subscribe. It helps out our YouTube numbers, and we'll catch you all tomorrow.